Be sure and tell them Large Marge sent ya.
In the 90s, we were just teeny tykes. We liked our movies and our bikes. We wanted to be DJs, but we were just teeny gals. So we went off to college and we remained best pals. 20 years later, we're still watching flicks and we're bringing you the favorite bit by bit. Sweety and Sweety are here to say it's the Large Marge Sent Us podcast. Hey.
Hey guys, welcome to the Large Marge Sent Us podcast, your favorite podcast where two Sweety sisters talk about their favorite flicks from childhood. I'm Sweety with a Y.
And I'm Sweety with an IE.
And I'm back. I'm back. What's the song? It's been a long time. I should have left you.
I went to Italy and
now,
step two.
And now I'm back. Okay. So it's been a while, yes, because I was on a business trip to Italy.
Wow, she's so fancy.
Yeah, so we took a week off, and we are now revisiting something we wanted to watch. I wanted to watch a couple weeks ago, but we could not because it was not available to stream anywhere.
And now I know why.
And now she knows why. And a wonderful fan, Sarah, sent us
Super fan.
sent us the DVD, and now we've watched it. The movie is
Spice World. Colors of your life. Or like Colors of Your Life.
Yeah.
Colors of the
That's
World.
I was gonna start singing "Colors of the Wind," but spice up your life.
Every boy and every girl.
Spice up your life.
People of the world.
Good times. Hey, Spice World from 1997, golden age. Just kidding. I don't think it was, but well,
It was a pretty big year
it's
for
a year
Sweety
that,
and
yeah.
Sweety, because we both went to new schools.
Okay.
Right?
No,
That's when I started high school, guys. Fall in 97, babes.
Yeah,
and then you
Sixth
were in
grade.
6th grade. So that was like a big deal.
Wait. No,
I was in
I was in
8th
third
grade.
grade, going into 4th grade.
Wait, and I was in 8th grade? Oh, shoot.
Something happened. I don't know. But
No. Because Liz graduated high school in 1997.
Yeah.
Spring,
I was in
fall of 97, I was in freshman year of high school. Yep. And you were, I thought, we always were like ones in and out of a grade.
I don't know. I remember
Because
Is
Robin was in 8th grade.
nobody cares.
No, she
no
was
one
in
cares.
7th
What
Sorry.
grade we were in.
This is confusing. Anyway,
But yeah, so 97 Spice World. Sweetie here, not really a Spice Girls person. Missed the boat. Too old, I guess. Too old. Not too old for boy bands though. Interesting.
because I think this is the thing. So like Spice Girls did capture on like what was I think a lot of middle schoolers. And by the like, not that I wasn't into like girl power and stuff, but then by the time I got to high school, I was really more about like boys all of the time. But interesting enough, 97 was really pre-boy band. I mean, NSYNC and Backstreet Boys really weren't around till like I was like a sophomore. So this was like, and then I forget if Spice World, how long was that after they became like big?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right?
I don't know.
Like, because they must have been like 95, 96. And I feel like then the movie came out in like 97 because it said Ginger Spice, Geri, left like a couple months after the movie came out. So,
yeah, I think what happened, well, in my case anyways, I don't remember listening much to the Spice Girls before I hit middle school. But if this came out in 97 and I was only in like 5th grade or 4th grade or something, then I'm confused. But yeah, middle school was when it all happened. Right. Although Sweety keeps saying that I was obsessed with the Spice Girls. That's really not true. My friends were obsessed with the Spice Girls. I was more obsessed with NSYNC. And I think that I just kind of like liked the Spice Girls because my friends liked the Spice Girls. Like, I don't think I was like as crazy.
yeah. But I think like they hit on something that was so key, right? Because you had like, groups of girls who all then like became like one Spice Girl. You like identify with one Spice Girl. So it's really like marketing like genius because everyone's like, okay, I'm sporty, so I'm like Sporty Spice. Like I'm slutty. I like Ginger Spice. I'm blonde and cute, and like I'm Baby Spice. So everyone kind of like identified like that. Similar to when boy bands came out, when you would do that along to like the guys you were attracted to. So for like Spice Girls, it was more like I want to be that Spice Girl, and then for like boy bands, it was like I want to kiss Joey Fatone. Nobody wanted to kiss Joey
Why
Fatone.
are we picking Joey? Some people did,
But I
Lisa's
feel
not
like,
Chris.
but the Spice Girls was like a great mix because I feel like some boy bands, there's always the Uggs, right? So you had for NSYNC, you had Joey and Chris. Sorry, guys. I'm sure you made it out in the end. You know, Chris got married recently. You know, he's made it.
Yeah, it's
you know
upsetting.
Who is not married
It's
yet?
very
JC.
yeah, because he's
Chazé.
probably closeted,
He's probably
and
closeted.
I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
But I feel like the girl groups were a little bit more like even keeled, and everyone was like pretty hot in their own way, or interesting, or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, but yeah, I'm kind of sad I missed this boat. But I remember the songs a ton, so I remember the songs playing on the radio all the time. I remember them being huge on MTV. I remember their style. Obviously, I knew like everything about them, like everyone in the entire world did. I did not go see this movie though, and I did not go see any concerts. So that would be kind of where I like, drew that line.
Concerts were hard to go to because by the time people really became obsessed with them, I think they had
Didn't you
broke
go?
up when they had the reunion. But I was in college. But like at the time, I don't think
to Great Woods and saw it.
No,
and you sat on the grass.
No,
with all those girls. Was
probably
it another
NSYNC.
band?
I don't know. I don't know who that was. That was someone else. But yeah,
have to ask
so
our
I
special
don't know
guest.
anybody who actually went to a Spice Girls concert in the heyday, and I know people that went like after the fact. But yeah, good times, super fun. Obviously, probably everyone dressed up as a Spice Girl at some point in their life. I'm gonna guess. Although I don't think I did.
I just did.
Sweety here just dressed up as all of them, and I had to take a picture of her for everyone. So, and wait for her to change into the next one. So, no word on why I couldn't be a Spice Girl, but we should have taken a picture of me being like a sad, pregnant, like weird
Do you want to
friend.
be the sad friend one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just
do that.
like pretend to be pregnant and be like, "Well, I'm not.
We'll put some
I'm
pillows
not
under
a
your shirt.
singer." Yeah. So good times.
So they made this movie obviously as like a big, okay, Spice Girls were huge, so they're like, let's make this movie that makes like no sense at all and basically has no plot. But in reading the trivia, I guess very similar to A Hard Day's Night, a la the Beatles, the other basically British, you know, Spice Girls was as big, let's say, as the Beatles, if you want to like draw that comparison, was in terms of like British acts, right? And had this like worldwide domination because they really did. And like, whether you like their music or not, that time for them, and we're not really sure of the years, I want to say like 95, 97 or 8, was gigantic. I mean, it was huge. And just very like interesting kind of trajectory, and then kind of captivated like the movie. I feel like this movie was the peak, let's say. I guess there was a reunion tour, but it's for the fans, you know? Like, no one expected this movie to be like a fucking Oscar winner.
No, it's just like fun.
It's fun.
Montages and like silly outfits and like, I don't know, silly things for girls to like get excited about. I think I saw it for the first time at probably at somebody's house during a sleepover. I want to say probably at Kim Kaplowitz's house.
Kim always makes the podcast.
It's always Kim. But I know in middle school, my friends, Izzy, who else? We'll ask Izzy who else was in her Spice gang. But Izzy was the main person who like really introduced me to the Spice Girls and like gave me an appreciation, I think, for them. So maybe I think we'll call her later and get some insider fan info.
Yeah, we'll have a special guest, which we haven't had in a long time. Awesome. Okay, so let's go over. Who are the Spice Girls? Ready? We have Mel B.
Mel B.
Scary Spice.
Scary.
Mel C.
Mel C. What are the odds? 2 girls named Melanie
Yeah,
in the
all their
same
real
girl
names.
band.
Sporty Spice. Emma. Baby Spice. Victoria. Vicky. Posh Spice. Very British. Posh Spice. And last but not least, Ginger Spice.
Geri. Geri.
So the band was formed. They, again, brilliant idea. Someone's like, they had, I think, some guy groups in the UK, and they're like, we need a girl group to compete with these guy groups. So they put out an ad in the paper. They're like, hot girls, come audition. They come on audition, and like they pluck a couple girls out. So I guess Emma was not in the original 5. It was some girl named like Michelle blah blah, and she got fired, and then like she came in. And then, so then it was that full 5, and then, so they didn't know each other. There's no like cool origin story. They're not the Beatles.
They weren't friends with a sad friend who couldn't sing, and they used to go to like the pub and hang out. And stuff.
I mean, that would have been kind of funny if they like had manufactured that story for them, but I don't think that was ever like it was never hidden that they like made up this group. I mean, isn't that how they made up One Direction? I think it was just not necessarily, maybe not ads, but like, or how they made up NSYNC.
Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet
Boys. NSYNC, duh. We all know the story of NSYNC. They knew each other.
They did know each other.
Mickey Mouse, they wanted to put a band together, and JC was like, I know a guy. And he called Justin. And then Joey knew Chris from Universal Studios.
You're very right.
And then Lance was the only one they had to hire.
Backstreet Boys, O-Town. Yeah. Like, I feel like all those kind of ones.
Fake friends.
Yeah, fake friends put together by the recording industry, by auditioning and trying to find that, like, perfect mix. So, in a sense, you can, like, say that that's probably why the band really worked out, because they were, like, auditioned and, like, pigeonholed in those roles.
Also, Danity Kane.
Danity Kane. Yes.
Wait, what was that? Was that called Making the Band?
Yeah.
Or was that O-Town? That was O-Town.
Oh, that was O-Town?
Wasn't it? And then there was the girl one with the pussycat doll, Nicole.
Oh.
What's her face?
Schwertlinger.
Her band.
Yeah.
Dream. I don't know. I'm remembering
Let's just
all
say
these
that
all
like
these
almost
bands.
all bands are put together by recording bands. Singing groups are put together by recording, studios and stuff like that. Record houses, because I mean that's just the way to do it. Because like I said, you can like make your perfect band because you'll be like, okay, and if that was their vision all along, okay, we need a sporty girl, we need blah 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 blah, and then you could like really fit those molds. So it worked out. They were huge. I don't know if they were really friends or not. Seems like they were. I feel like they had a good rapport.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. Well, I think the drama, the inside story, or the supposed rumors, which we know are true, likely, is that I think Geri was a bit of an outsider and was kind of...
She was a topless model before she...
maybe that's why. But I mean, like, she left the group, remember? And it was like a big, and it was like a big thing, and everybody was all upset, and they were like, we're still going to go on, and that never works. Yeah. And Geri had like a couple hits, solo hits. Remember that song that was like, look at me.
Yeah, I agree.
And then, so I think that like there was that dynamic. So I don't know. Maybe it was like a Sex and the City thing where like they all liked each other, but then not Samantha.
I mean, you must have like...
Geri.
I don't know.
the slutty one.
Right. Like that must have been so hard because clearly some had more vocal talent than others. Like there's one shot of Victoria singing when the movie starts and we're like, whoa, she never sings. Because she really doesn't ever sing by herself. I mean, I'm sure she's fine with like harmonies and stuff, but she never had solos. And really the main people that sang were everybody else. But I feel like Mel C really did a heavy lift on the singing. I'm sorry.
Maybe Victoria was the bass.
Yeah.
Maybe she was the Lance.
She's the bass. I feel like Mel C did a ton of like heavy lifting on the singing, and Emma I feel like did too. And then like Geri and Mel B were more like the punctuation kind of, not like, I don't know. That was my thought after seeing this movie. Maybe. Because a big part of this movie is they sing, I think, almost all of their songs. I mean, it seems like most of them.
I mean, they have way more songs. They have like way more songs than that. God. But yeah, I mean, a lot of it, I mean, it's really just like an extended music video, right. I guess, if you want to. I mean, they played the 2 like whole songs the entire way through, which I feel like is unnecessary, but we'll get into it. But yeah, good times. That's it. That's all I have to say about that.
But yeah, it's a pretty random movie. I mean, like I said, we're going to do the synopsis, but there's like a very loose plot, if you like want to call it that. And more so, it's like really meta because you have like this, they are famous and they are themselves in this movie. And then within the movie, there's this like guy trying to pitch a movie about the Spice Girls to do. And like at that point, my head just exploded. And I'm like, what is happening in this world? That this Spice Girls movie is making me question my life.
Then at the end, during the credits, all those people were like playing themselves, being like, "What part did you get?" "Oh, I'm the tour manager," and like it was really crazy.
Yeah, I was just like, what?
But I don't think they're
So
like
clever.
they're being themselves, but they're being character. What's it? I can't say that word. Stereotypes of caricatures. We've gone through this before. There's one too many C's in that word. I can't say it. But yeah, they're being like exaggerated versions of themselves, right? And they're like in on the joke about like what makes them what spice they are, right? So I mean, I don't think they're really like that in real life, like their personality. I don't know.
I'd like to know that because that would be frustrating for me to be playing a part. Like, what if Mel C is like not sporty at all?
Well, that's what she was saying in the photo shoot. She was like, "How about Sporty Spice, but I also like other stuff like Spice."
I mean,
it's honestly,
honestly,
a problem.
she got the better deal because what comfy clothes, as they say at one point. I mean, the girl got to wear sneakers all of the time and basically track pants and like a belly shirt.
Yeah.
Looked so comfy. The poor other girls, and mind you, this is the 90s, but like those platform shoes were insane.
Frankenstein boots.
Why
What's
was
happening?
that ever? I
don't
cannot
know.
believe that
It's
was
not
ever
attractive.
a style.
And how do you walk?
How do you walk? How do you dance?
No, yeah.
How do you function at all? But like also, why? I feel like theirs were exaggerated though, because like, yes, I had some platform sneakers. They weren't like as crazy as that. Those were like moon shoes. They were
Platform
nuts.
sneakers? Do you mean your Airwalks?
No, I mean my Candy's platform sneakers. Thank you.
Airwalks?
I did.
No, you had the knockoff.
No.
You had like the other
I
kind.
had Vans.
Oh,
I chose
Vans.
Vans over Airwalks because it was either Vans or Airwalks. I got them at Head and Foot, and also that was when I was in middle school, which was the grunge period people. So like 94, 95, and it was plaid shirts, Vans, Airwalks, skater shit. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm a little
times.
older than you. Remember.
Good times. But anyways, okay, all right. Enough pussyfooting the issue, the movie. I say we talk about it or do our best. Anyways.
It's time for the Sweety synopsis.
Yeah, sweeties.
Girl power.
Geri, Mel B, Mel C, Victoria, Emma. Is that it? Did I get them all? I got them all. Are the Spice Girls. And they're about to do a live show at Albert Hall. I'm confused about the term live show because I feel like shows are by nature live, right? If you're doing a show, you're doing it in front of people.
Maybe
Therefore, it is a live show.
Or something? I don't know.
But they were like super famous. I don't really get it. But it's a big event, and they're getting ready for this, and it's very high stress, and things are happening. So they have this tour manager. They have this lady who's his assistant. What was her role? The lady on the bus.
Yeah.
What was her? She was
Deborah.
She was his assistant. Like, what was her purpose?
Yeah, just like another like assistant tour
Okay.
person. Manager.
Yeah, they got that. They have this documentary, like film crew following them around, and then they have these other guys who are trying to pitch a Spice Girl movie to the tour manager. So you have a lot of things going on. Meanwhile, the main villain here is the tabloids, which, if you don't know, are very big in the UK. The Daily Mail, is it? Huge, right? Big problem over there.
The Mirror.
We're responsible basically for the death of Princess Diana, let's say it. But
And if you haven't read the news recently, Meghan Markle is like a hot fucking mess because they've messed with her.
wait, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. All right, fill me in later.
Okay.
But yeah, so the big tabloid guys, like, let's ruin the Spice Girls. I don't know what is his vendetta. I think he just wants sales, obviously.
Yeah.
So they call in this like master disguise guy who's not Dana Carvey, but I assume is where Dana Carvey got the idea maybe for the master of disguise. It just reminds me of that movie. But he comes in and tries to like get dirt on the Spice Girls so that they'll break up or like have a lot of drama and make, sell rags basically. So okay, so a couple things are happening here. So while they're getting ready for their show, they have to do like all this other normal pop star stuff too, like go around London and do a press tour, go to a weird party, go to Milan for like a weird outdoor show with like naked men, just like pop star shit, like whatever. There's a bunch of like weird events that happen along the way that don't have anything to do with anything. But it's just like, here's an opportunity for us to wear like silly costumes and like do this thing and have a cameo here and a cameo there. So a couple examples. They run into some aliens in the middle of the woods.
Who love the Spice Girls.
They have to take dance lessons from this weird drill sergeant who's dressed as like a Russian like Bond, like Goldeneye, like he's in Goldeneye, like he's
right.
that asshole in Goldeneye,
Dr. Step or something.
Step. And that was the you were saying that was the James Bond guy's name. I was like, that was definitely not his name.
No.
But yeah, they go to that. They what else?
You get the Milan one. There's kids who win a contest. So like and they're in this big bus, the Spice Bus, and is that what it's called? Spice Bus. And it's a big, those double-decker London buses, very classic.
They're like on it all the time, and
they're on all the time.
And I'm like, London's not that big.
It is huge on the inside. Is definitely not
That's the
like
joke.
the bus.
That's the joke.
Yeah, so it's like a whole different set on the inside, which is pretty funny. And there's no windows, so it's a big Union Jack like flag all around. So it's a lot of them in the bus like hanging out, being like, "You stole my boots," or like, "Should I wear this Gucci dress or this Gucci dress?" And this is where like the caricature part comes in, because it's them just being like very much who their character is. So you have like Baby being Baby. Sucking on a lollipop, talking about her stuffed animals.
So many lollipops. Do you think she got a lot of canker sores or what?
I know, that's nasty.
Too many lollipops.
Victoria just being like trying on clothes. Sporty has like an exercise bike that she just like bikes all the time. And then like Mel and Geri are just being like sassy and fighting. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. So that's kind of like what's happening. And other side plot, their friend Nicola. Is 9 months pregnant, and it's like she was she a rejected Spice Girl, because their like original story when they're like,
she that girl Michelle or whatever,
was she rejected Spice Girl and got knocked up because like she hangs around with them all the time, and then like they were all in this band and she was just like this extra friend hanging out. So poor Nicola is like pregnant, and Trevor, husband, gets out of there. So she's now alone. So the Spice Girls feel bad for her. So nice friends as they are, and they're very much about girl power and friendship and stuff like that, they keep checking up on her. How's Nicola? So it's like a huge part of the movie is like them hanging out with this 9 months pregnant friend.
It's just really tragic. And like I was confused for the longest time about this, because I was like, did they really have like a sad pregnant friend that just like was there and missed the boat on the whole like couldn't carry a tune, couldn't bang a tambourine, so they couldn't keep her in the band?
A sick Spice Girl who just stood there? I mean, come on. I think she got pregnant and they kicked her out.
Pregnant Spice? I don't know.
Knocked up Spice.
So yeah, that's the other plot. So, but really everything's revolving around this live show. So as these kinds of movies do, they part ways eventually, because there's some like fight about the tour managers being too crazy. Why are they upset again? They like, what was the main conflict there at the end? Why they all left? They're like,
well, they like escaped the bus when like the two little fangirls came to visit them, and then like the boat tipped over and they fell into the Thames.
That was the impetus?
I thought. And then he was mad at them because like, why did you leave the bus? Like blah, blah, blah. So they're like, we need to live our own life, and like wanted to do their own thing. So on top of that, they decide like we need to spend more time with Nicola because like she's our friend and she's like pregnant or whatever. So they're like, good idea, let's take her to a club. So then they take her to the club, and of course her water breaks and she's in labor. So they decide to spend like all the time with Nicola until she has the baby, but they're gonna miss the tour. Mm-hmm. So then the tour manager is obviously like very upset
really
with them.
It's a live show.
And like at the So, but they're like, friendship is more important, which is, again, like a very much like part of their message. So that's great. But luckily, like Nicola pops out that baby eventually. Ooh. And they are like, okay, great. Like, sweet baby. Bye. I have to go to the show. So then they hop on the bus, and their driver is missing. Their driver is Meatloaf, by the way. And Posh takes it upon herself to drive in her giant stilettos. And all crazy, like, through the city, and all this, like, shit happens, but they make it to the live show. And then they put on an amazing show. Everyone in the entire movie is dancing. All the adults, all the children, like, everybody. Mm-hmm. And it's the is that the song called Spice World? No. What is that song
Spice
called?
Up Your Life?
Spice Up Your Life? Okay, sorry. The one we were singing in the beginning, which is a great song. It
a great
always
song.
gets me going. I'm
Yep.
going to add it to my running mix. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Colors of the World.
Yeah.
And then it ends. And, Spice Girls did what they came here to do,
Viva forever.
which is spice up your life.
Yep. And that's it. So yeah. So again, really random. A lot of like random little montages and scenes in there. I'll tell you something. There is a part of this movie that makes me deeply uncomfortable and a little bit sick to my stomach. And it's the alien part. I am so repulsed by those aliens.
Because what they look like?
Yes, they're like so creepy. They have tiny little heads and these huge hands. Like, watch it again. It's gross.
That's aliens for you.
No. These are gross, and I just hate it. Like, it really made me sick, and it was troubling. But yeah, that part sticks out the most to me. Has always been very creepy to me. The other parts I love though are like the photo shoot where they all dress as each other.
Yeah,
like
that was
always
really fun.
sticks out. The Italy part with the guys in the underwear, very funny, very funny. And then there's these random like and they only do it sometimes. They'll be like, I wonder what it'll be like when we have kids, and then it's like like the fog or whatever, and then there's like a little scene of them like imagining themselves as mothers or whatever, but they don't always commit to that, and I feel like they half-ass some of those sometimes. Like there's like you could get away with murder, baby Spice, and then it's like, who's the killer? And it's like this silly, I don't know, there's all these like little tiny silly little vignettes or whatever that really accent the film.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really make sense, and some are good and some are not that great, but they're fun, and I think it was fun to see them. I mean, there's so many different costume changes in this, and like all the different kind of homages they're doing to all like old, whether it's old rock stars or old TV or like whatever. Like that was really fun.
I will say though that all the Spice Girls are pretty good actresses.
Yeah, they were actually not bad at all.
Really
I
good.
thought they were
Really
going to be
impressed.
that was going to be the worst part of this movie, and they really were all quite good.
Maybe they're actually secretly actresses and not singers.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't. I'm sure they had lines and stuff, but it didn't really seem like that. It did seem kind of like they were just like goofing around and just kind of like, I don't know, like living their Spice life. Which was like pretty fun.
I think Victoria did some amazing acting.
Yeah, she was not bad.
At the end of the film when she was driving the bus, I was really impressed. And she's still my favorite. She was my favorite when I was little.
Wow, you were Posh Spice.
We talked about this earlier today. Like, I'm so proud that I picked the one that was actually the most famous.
Well, is she the most famous?
Now, yeah.
But like, is that only because she married David Beckham?
Yes. I mean, yeah, but then they became like an empire of like the Beckhams, right? Like she's
I mean, she does do like really fashion.
When they did the reunion, like she was the most exciting one to see because she was the most famous, I thought.
Well, okay, Mel B has done like some stuff as well. She's been on like X Factor.
So yeah, I was like
that kind of stuff. And then everyone else, like I read that Mel C did have her own solo career and did like chart and stuff in the UK. Didn't really do anything here. I'm not sure about the other girls, but and like we said, Geri tried to go off on her own, and she did have like one kind of big song. And I don't know about Emma. I mean, she was sweet, but maybe she did like
where did you go?
Philanthropy or something. So there's a lot of famous people in this movie.
Yes.
A lot of cameos, and part of it is like, who can we get that is very popular, big British star, right? So I feel like that's like half of it. And the other half of it are like legit, really good British actors. And I read the trivia, and most of them only did the movie because their nephews, nieces, daughters were obsessed with the Spice Girls, and they like did it for them. So that's like adorable.
Yeah.
So you have right off the bat Elton John, which they were friends with Elton John. Of
course.
They did. They sang
He's friends
with him.
with everyone.
Yeah, he's friends with everyone, especially if you're British. I mean, that homeboy thing. Richard Grant, if you don't know him, so he's been like acting for a long time, but has really only gotten attention in the last couple of years, namely for the movie with Melissa McCarthy where she is like the cat lady who
Can you ever forgive me?
Can you ever forget me? Who forges these letters and sells them. If you haven't seen that movie, it is amazing, and both them, Melissa McCarthy and Richard Grant, are amazing in it. Totally recommend. He is like the tour manager or general manager or whatever. Clifford. Alan Cummings. So who doesn't love him? He's amazing in this as like a documentary filmmaker. George Wentz, Norm from Cheers, is like the American.
Is it Wentz or Went? At WENDT?
Z. Oh, I put Z. Anyway.
Pete Wentz?
Wentz. Maybe. Yeah.
Went. I think it's Went.
WENDT. Okay. Anyway, cheers, guy. Dominic West, famous for The Wire and The Affair. One of his first movies. Also British. Bob Hoskins, Sweety and I's like favorite person of all time. I mean, at least up there, top 5. Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Mermaids, love him. Dead now, but love. Meatloaf, as we said, the driver of the bus has like a funny Meatloaf joke, which are like never gets old for me. I like cracked up.
Meatloaf? Okay. Am I crazy? Or is Meatloaf like the best actor?
He's really good
in the movie.
He's been in other like movies
He's
too.
in the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Wasn't he in like Wayne's World?
Was he in Almost Famous? No. Philip Seymour
We're
Hoffman.
just like thinking of all the movies with
he
tours.
Is in like random shit. Hugh Laurie, House.
Wait,
himself.
I missed him.
So he
his
was
part.
in the Agatha Christie like little ripoff or Emma,
Oh.
like Emma's little thing. He was Perot, which he was all in like makeup and stuff, so you couldn't really tell.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Roger Moore, James Bond himself, so obviously like British royalty. TV royalty, as like the owner of like the
Spice
recording,
Girls or whatever, yeah.
studio or whatever. And then Elvis Costello, I'm pretty sure, was the bartender like at the end, in the middle there.
And-
also like basically British music royalty. So they kind of hit all. I mean, where was George Michael? Wait, was he dead yet? No.
Oh my God.
Oh no, he just died a couple years ago.
no.
I think.
And Bruno Jenkins' father
Yes.
from The Witches is the pub manager, whatever.
Cafe, I believe it was a cafe.
Oh, it was a
They were
cafe.
drinking coffee or tea.
Why wasn't anyone there? Yeah, lots of cameos.
Yeah,
I was
so
surprised.
many.
It's just like, ooh,
So
who's
cool
who?
that people like actually did this movie. I mean, that's like kind of funny about it.
I know, and I wonder if they're like ashamed or like embarrassed now, or like
Richard
if
Grant was
people pick
amazing.
it up. Oh my God, he was so good. Yeah, his sideburns were a character of their own.
Oh, totally.
Really,
And it's just what I think, like what I thought about Hilary Swank in The Next Karate Kid. Like you can see the Oscar-winning actor that he would eventually be in this role, which
Yeah.
was like pretty intense and over the top for like a pretty like rinky-dink role. So go Richard Grant.
Go
You're awesome.
Richard. Okay, and then I mean, but the Spice Girls are like very 90s, obviously. But another thing that's very 90s that stuck out to me that I missed a little bit, but not really, tongue rings.
Did anyone have a tongue ring?
Yeah, Scary Spice.
Oh,
but
yeah.
like you don't see those very much anymore, right? It's like they were such a thing, right?
Anyone who I knew who has had one has taken it out by now.
Of course.
That's what I'll say about tongue rings.
Why
And
do
that
you-
includes belly button piercing as well. Most people I know have taken those out.
It's too bad. It's a shame. It's a shame.
I know. And also nose. But a lot of people who took their nose rings out are regretting it and want to put it back. Interesting.
Where are you getting your facts from? You're like, the hot pulse on the piercings is Sweety nose.
I have a lot of friends who have had piercings, and like this is the
Okay.
general consensus.
All right.
So
What
there you go.
about nipple rings?
Yeah, I don't know anyone who has that. Yes, so the style, as we've always say, 90s style, huge. And in this case, for the Spice Girls, they have very like distinct style for each one of them, right? Going along with their persona. So but it's all distinct to their character, but it's all very 90s as well, right?
Right.
So you have Posh Spice, Victoria, who's always in heels, like short cocktail dresses.
Black
and
usually.
Mostly black. She does do some color occasionally.
Darker colors, yes.
Yes. Then you have Baby, who is blonde. She always has her hair, almost always has her hair in kind of some kind of form of pigtails, always sucking a lollipop.
Ugh.
Wears Baby doll, like
Baby
kind
doll.
of cutesy stuff, which
Or
was
nightgowns.
or nightgowns essentially, which were big in the 90s. If you remember, like the Baby doll look
Huge.
was huge,
Huge.
and it like makes me really creeped out because I'm like, why? I think we've said this about another movie. Like, why was that ever a style? Like,
Yeah.
I remember getting those little barrettes and like
Right.
putting them in
Baby
right here, like
barrettes.
parting my hair and putting them on the side here, the butterfly ones.
so weird.
Like the baby doll style dresses, the cropped. I mean, it's just like, why do we want to look like babies?
10 Things I Hate About You.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The prom,
Her prom
the prom
one?
dress.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So gross. Scary. So hers is like lots of leopard print. She does like kind of these like unicorn kind of style with her hair. Very vibrant patterns and stuff like that. At one point, she's wearing a U.S. astronaut suit during one of the concerts.
NASA. It's called NASA, Sweety.
NASA. Well, it's like a big American flag on it, which I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I'm like, I think that's a spacesuit. And that was weird, and I wasn't unclear. And it was like during a concert
She wore it
rehearsal.
before that, too. It's just her jacket. It's just her warm-up jacket.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Leave her
I can't
alone.
imagine dancing and singing in that. I'm just saying, crazy,
warm-up.
crazy. Sporty Spice, as we said, easy peasy. Track pants, sneakers,
Sports bras,
tank
windbreakers,
tops,
yeah.
like
You
always
name it.
mostly hair in a ponytail. Really simple.
I really
Not
like
crazy
when
with the makeup.
I really like when Sporty has her hair down
Yes.
and it's like layered.
She's honestly like the prettiest
gorgeous,
one.
it's gorgeous.
She's really the prettiest
Yeah.
one. If you
Oh my
like,
God, you're
kinda
obsessed
strip
with her.
everybody
You're
down.
like, she's the best singer.
I
She's
really
the prettiest
like her.
one.
I mean, I'm not
Do you have a
sporty,
Sporty?
and I don't like the athletic style, but I think she was the prettiest and had the best voice.
Are you gonna get a Sporty Spice poster and put it on your
think I will.
bedroom wall
And
ceiling?
in my photo shoot earlier, I think my Sporty Spice was the most like the best one.
Yeah, Sporty Spice at heart.
I know, I
You
think I am,
won.
guys. What does that mean?
You won.
And then who's
Geri.
left? Geri. So Geri is ginger. So she has very fake, big. Okay, she looks like a tart. Let's just say it. She's very like not natural red hair. It's like ruby red with like these blonde streaks in it.
I'd say, like, white. They're like white streaks almost.
She basically wears bathing suits all the time, like glittery bathing suits. Lots of like British flags everywhere. Again with the platform, she always has like tons of makeup.
She's the most
on.
bold.
Yeah, and she's fun, and I always liked Geri. Like I always was very drawn to her and her like attitude and stuff like that because she was like so the girl power like thing I think more than anybody, and like kind of the more like feminist kind of one. So I did appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah. So everything, but still in like framed in that like very much 90s style. So that included also baby backpacks. Baby backpacks.
Did they have a baby backpack?
Yeah, baby had a baby backpack.
Baby had a baby back. Oh, was it a bee?
What?
The backpack.
Oh no, I think
it was like a little
white
bee.
leather.
Oh,
But
That
those
should
have
make
come back though. If you've seen,
Yeah, I know.
baby backpacks are
It's a little
huge.
upsetting.
I almost bought one at Target
What?
the other day. I know. I was like, would I wear this? And I was like, maybe,
No.
but I didn't. As we said, the platform shoes insane, and they are so prevalent in this movie. It is nuts. Frosty makeup and a glossy lip, like
Can't go wrong.
White eyeshadow, man. Did I rock that white eyeshadow in high school?
Right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, we thought it was
Tons of lip gloss, glitter on your eyes, like all that.
lip
shit.
gloss, lip gloss.
Belly shirts, huge. Lots of belly shirts. Lots of boosty cacas.
That's what I was gonna say.
Bustiers, a lot of bustiers, a lot of like bandeau, like tops.
Yeah, they're just like
Scary
a
had
piece
that
of
piece
fabric.
Yep, if you're really
Wow.
flat, you could really
Yeah.
wear that. So like,
No
Scary
offense.
had that like
Yeah.
a lot of times. And then like a lot of American flag stuff, which I was like, that's interesting. They're British, and this is all very British movie, and you know. But as Sweety said, like I think they wore a lot of like Tommy Hilfiger stuff or
Well, I
something.
think that's
or-
just like it's a style, right?
To wear American flags,
Americana, because everyone loves it.
I've
But
never
like
had
if you go
American
to
flag stuff.
other like obviously I was just in Italy, went to the baby Carter's Italian Carter's store basically, and there's all like there's everything's in English like on the shirts, and
Yeah.
it's like bad English, and you're like, what is this? It's like Save the Oceans or something. And it's just like the thing is like American. It's just like American life, right? And I don't know why we suck, but that was the trend. I think.
Totally.
All right. What else?
Okay, so the only thing. Okay, so I have two other things to say before we have our phone our Spice Girl friend. Why didn't they do this for NSYNC? Because I really would have liked something.
I mean,
like
they
that.
did NSYNC in the mix.
I know, and it did remind me of that a lot, and that was more like documentary, but basically like, but that wasn't like released in the theaters.
No, but we watched it
I
literally
know.
every day, and like I could probably still quote it, and I want to watch it right now on
I
YouTube.
think they could have released in the mix as like had that come out like a little bit when they were a little bit bigger. They could have released that like in the movie theater because I would have seen that. I mean. We like you said, we watched that movie 100
my
times.
God.
You're obsessed with it. It was
Obsessed.
like, we just loved seeing them like in action and like
I'm
just living their life.
Yeah.
And so I would have loved that for the boy bands. I would have been absolutely nuts, and I would have seen that movie in the theaters like 10 times. I don't know what they were thinking. Like waste.
I know. They could
Hello.
have made so much money. True.
Okay, my big connection to Spice Girls is this.
Ooh.
So when I was in college, I joined a sorority, Gamma Phi Beta, yeah. And we had pledge week. So, like you're pledging, you're doing all this weird shit. And then one of the things we had to do was make up like a routine and a lip sync, a song and like a whole routine like surrounding like pledging this sorority, right? Mm-hmm. So we chose, and I was like a key part of this. I did all of the choreography and then basically like trained everyone, all like my sorority sisters, to do the wannabe song, but it was not If You Want to Be My Lover. It was If You Want to Be a Gamma. This is how it went.
Did you wait? You made up the lyrics?
Yep.
You're always lyricist.
Yep. So we just like we played the wannabe song, but we just like sang over it with our lyrics, and it was like, if you want to be a gamma, you got to get in this house. That's all I remember. But
good one.
It was really good. I made up this whole like routine, and we had to practice every night. It was like so crazy. So that song like always sticks with me, and like for all through college when we had that song played at like frat parties and stuff, like all of us would bust out the whole routine and everything. It was like really fun. So there's my Spice Girls memory.
I just have one question for you. What's your Spice Girls name?
I am Sweety Spice.
Oh, yeah. Pretty obvious. Can I be a Sweety Spice too? A couple I thought of were Sad Spice.
You're Sad Spice?
Resting Bitch Face Spice. I don't know.
Are not.
I don't know.
Agree with
Like
any
I
of
can't
those.
think. Whenever I try to think of one, I can't think of like a witty way to describe myself that like they do, because it's not like when people are like, "What's your spice name?" People are always like Cinnamon Spice. It's like it doesn't have to be a real spice. Like,
here you go.
and
Your chicken wing spice. Your I'm trying to think of favorite
what?
foods.
Why does it have to be a food?
I
It's
don't
not
know.
a food. No one else is a food.
Your
you call me fat?
no.
What is this?
I'm trying to think of other things you like. Your cat
Food,
spice. Your
It's not like what you like. It's
Werther's
like
original
it's like,
spice.
It's like your personality or something, or like this. Like there's
Sweetie,
not a
your
good one.
personality cannot be defined. It is multifaceted. I don't know why you think you can wedge yourself into one spice.
That's what they did. I'm just following their. I'm just following.
And
their
I'm
lead.
sure they had other like dimensions to their personality too.
I just want to know how they thought of their names, and I'd like tips on how to think of my own. Maybe there's a generator online where you can find it out.
I bet there is, but I bet some very savvy marketer was like, okay, what spice? Everyone needs to apply to at least one girl out there. So like we have to cover like the gamut of like what girls would be. So you have like the wild girls. You have. I'm remembering that. Was it Pen 15?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
who were Spice Girls, and they all got like assigned one, and then Maya, who's the only like person of color, gets assigned Scary, and she's like very upset
and
about
it really
it.
is like and I'm really talking about this on a lot of podcasts, but like that was like a very like racially ignited like thing, because like nobody wanted to be Scary Spice, and that was such like bullshit. Because
why did they name her Scary
awesome.
Spice?
I don't know.
She
Like, wasn't
awesome.
scary.
And she wasn't scary at all, and like that was a total misstep on whatever, and I can't believe like Mel bought into that, because I agree, like nobody wanted to be Scary Spice.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. Mel was awesome. You know what I appreciate about her too is that she wore like her glasses a lot of times in this movie. Which is, like, really cute.
That's true. Like, yeah, like she didn't give any fucks.
Yeah,
like
it made her like really normal, and she really had like I mean, she's supposed to be like wild and wacky, her style, but like which it is, but then like her using just like glasses and her like just regular glasses made her just seem like, you know, smart and like put together and whatever glasses do for people.
yeah, makes them
But
smart.
yeah. So that's like our feelings about this movie, but now it is a special time in the podcast. Phone a friend.
On a friend, yeah.
So to give a little background of who we're phoning.
So we're phoning my friend Isadora Dunn, who, Isadora Medley, but she'll always be Isadora Dunn, a fry to me. But she and I met in middle school and became fast friends. And like I said, she introduced me to the Spice Girls and many other things as well, including, but not limited to, S Club 7, BB Mac, and like gut milk ads. I don't know, just a few things. She was really, and musicals. She was very into like several things, and Spice Girls was one of them. So she's really the expert, the real true fan of the Spice Girls. So we thought we'd give her a call right now, live on the air. Here we go. I haven't called someone in such a long time.
Whoa,
I'm like, how does this work?
How does this work?
Oh my god.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Izzy.
Hi.
Welcome to the Large Marge Sent Us podcast.
You're live.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
Thanks for joining us. How's it going?
Great. I'm just, really excited to talk about my number one feminist icons, the Spice Girls.
Yay!
Yes, please tell us everything. So, when did you first see this? How did it happen? How did you get into them?
Well, they were my first, Spice Girls, my first CD that I ever owned, and I think Spice World was the first CD I bought with my own money at the Stop and Shop in Orleans.
Wow.
And they were just everything to me. I wanted to be them. I wanted to dress like them. I danced around and sang like them. And I think the first time I saw Spice World, the movie, was, I think I saw it in the theaters when it first came out in 1998.
Wow.
Yeah, with my mom and some girl. I think it was like a birthday party situation.
Yeah.
But I remember the cardboard cutout like in the theater so clearly, and those epic poses that they had, and it was just. I had Beanie Baby Spice Girls. I mean, I had a lineup of Spice Girls.
Wait, the Spice Girls were like a bear, but the Spice Girls?
The inchworm was Sporty. The leopard was Posh. The rooster was Ginger. I had a couple.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So what do you, if you think, and I'm guessing you haven't watched Spice World in maybe a while, or maybe you have. I don't know.
Maybe you own it. Maybe you watch it once a week.
It's been like 5 years.
5 years.
Wow. Okay, that's not bad.
What do you now, looking back, think of the movie? What sticks out the most to you? What do you remember? What were your favorite parts?
Okay, well, the performances, the opening Too Much performance, where they're all singing and they get all like the sexy slow pans, and I love that, and I think it kind of showcases them as, some of them as actually good singers, and kind of sets the mood before things get crazy. I love that part. I love the boot camp scene when they're all like singing the Spice Girls army song. It's the best.
That was fun. We got to bring that part up.
And like Posh, teetering along with
so
her
good.
little heels. Like it's so
good.
Like they lean into the stereotypes so much.
Yeah.
But it's like in a good way somehow.
Yeah.
I love when they all dress up as each other because it's totally like mind bending.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and then I love when Posh takes the wheel at the end. And she's like,
Yes, I did too. I thought it was like a really good bit of acting by Victoria. I was very impressed. But yeah, that scene is great. Really classic. Really classic.
She killed it. I still remember she's like, Sunday drivers, it's only Saturday. Or like, I'm sorry.
That was good.
She had really good one-liners.
Yeah, she did.
Killed the one-liners.
She did.
And then like her stiletto, the visual of her stiletto just like stomping the
Yeah.
gas pedal. It's something I definitely emulated like when I learned to drive.
What? Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
It's like being badass.
Yeah.
Like badass behind the wheel, you know?
Yeah, you were more like relaxed driver from my point of view, but sure.
Yeah, okay, it's true. But like, just the owning it, like I love how they own everything, and like just how their love for each other and how like friendship, the whole message is that like friendship is so important, is like very important to me. And Andre, Spice World came out the same year that we met, like, so, I
know, it's magic. It's magical.
Forever.
Viva forever.
So in your own little like mix of friends, and like Andre couldn't remember, like did you guys each have like a Spice? Was everyone like their own Spice Girl? Like you were blank, Andre was this one.
No. Well, I was trying to remember like who else in the charter school was a Spice head. What are the Spice Girl fans called? I don't know.
Spice Mania?
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like, honestly, my dress-up Spice Girl assignment days were mostly in grade school and elementary school.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then it kind of switched over. Like I think I mentioned this to you before, Andre, but in 6th grade, I walk into the new school, new middle school, and I have a trapper keeper, and Spice Girls are like, I have a bunch of pictures of all cool things that I like because I'm super cool, and I had the Spice Girls in there, and a couple boys like made fun of me in 6th grade because I liked the Spice Girls. And I totally caved, which I'm so, I think it's so lame, but I drew mustaches on it. I was like, yeah, the Spice Girls are totally lame. I hate them. But I was
sad.
Dying inside.
So sad.
But anyways, I was always ginger. I was usually ginger, but then because of my brown hair and it was kind of short, I would sometimes get pigeonholed into being posh, which, she has, I like her, but I don't identify as a posh.
Yeah.
Personally.
I did. Posh was my fave. So talk us through, I'm going to talk about something a little emotional. Talk us through what happened mentally for you when Ginger left the Spice Girls.
Oh my God. I felt so betrayed. She was my favorite because she's so sassy and in your face, and I believed in the female friendship and support and girl power, and I just felt like how could she leave then? It was devastating. I think I was in denial. I actually remember breaking. That was Princess Diana dying, and
oh my God,
the Spice Girls were both in the same couple years, and it was it was breaking news that really upset me and changed my life.
Oh, but they got
back
together. They did a reunion tour, which you missed because you were at semester at sea.
It's my other many life regrets, but missing the Spice Girls reunion concert is high up there.
Yeah, for sure.
They did one this year. Did you know that?
What?
Yeah, I think it was mostly in Europe. But then I'm reading something that said it was canceled, and they backed out of it following Mel B's admission that she and Geri had a lesbian fling in the 90s.
Oh my God!
Oh my God! What?
I know. That's great.
I know, but I have talked and thought about this with our friend Frankie specifically, and the feeling the fact that came out, I don't know who to believe in that gossip.
Oh my God, I had no idea.
But I wouldn't be surprised though.
Right. And that makes sense of why the drama between them and
And I think Ginger was alpha, trying to be alpha, and other people wanted to be alpha, maybe. But it was very upsetting, and I feel like they could have had another amazing album and another maybe ridiculous movie. But she had to leave when it was all going so well.
I know, really.
I know.
That's crazy.
But then and who could forget the London Olympics? I think it was the closing ceremony was the Spice Girls, and they came out.
Yes.
Remember, they each had their own little Mini Cooper, and then they oh my God, it was so good.
They drove around the stadium.
Yes.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Great. It was really good.
Yeah.
Really amazing. And I'm sad. I'm sad you missed the reunion concert. It was very exciting. I was trying to.
Was it all of them?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gone if they weren't all there.
Well, I keep seeing pictures of all of them, but no Geri. So I don't know.
No, she was there. She was there.
She was there. She's been in since it's been 15 years.
Yeah. But it was great. It was good. It was a great experience. Very moving. Very, very wonderful. And I'm sad you were there in spirit, though. I think.
Thank you. Thank you.
No worries.
I'm sure if they make their way back to the States, I will somehow find myself in the audience.
Yeah, that would be so fun. I'd go see that.
But I was I don't know anybody. Do you know anyone that went to a Spice Girls concert when they were in their heyday?
No, I think it was a lot of. I don't think they came to America very often,
Yeah.
or also I think we were maybe too young. But like people were going to NSYNC and Backstreet Boys concerts.
Yeah.
And
Us,
and I
yeah.
don't know anyone who went to the Spice Girls. In Europe though, I mean they were. I know they did a bunch of stuff there. My friend who grew up there, I think she went to one and it like blew my mind. But I would just watch Spice World over and over again on cassette or on VHS. I mean, and like I would just watch it so many times, and it was almost to me like watch it, like because there's so many concerts.
Yeah.
It's
so
right
yeah,
You were there. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And I had a Barbie. Okay, and I did have the Ginger Spice Barbie.
Amazing.
Great outfit.
Amazing. Wow. Okay. Well, do we have any other?
What's your favorite Spice Girl song?
Ooh, yeah, good one.
I think it's I think I have to go with Wannabe just because it gets me when the first that screen comes on, I just like lose my mind and start dancing. And there's a lot of other good ones, but I mean it's just such a classic.
Yeah, that video too. I remember that so much.
Did you know that, Emily, Sweety and I just found out today that the correct lyric is "Slam your body down, wind it all around," not whammies all around.
I was like,
That's you know what? You thought it was Whammy?
I thought it was like slummy buddy down and whinies all around. I thought it was
whinies. Yeah, I thought it was
I thought it was like a British
Yeah.
thing. I'm like, oh, that's clearly like a British
It's
thing.
just like nonsense words.
Oh my god. I will say, I feel like there's a dance move they do when they perform it where they like slam their like they like slam it down and they like wind around their hips. Which I am like the queen of misunderstanding lyrics, but I believe
You got it.
I believe I can claim to know that
okay.
one.
But to be fair, there's a lot of parts in this movie that I can't understand what they're
Their
saying.
accents are really thick.
So maybe
Great.
it has to do with that also. I don't know. But yeah, that's good.
How do you guys feel about the alien scene?
Okay, so I talked about I talked about this when we were recording the beginning of this podcast. That scene makes me deeply uncomfortable and nauseous.
It's
like
so
it
weird.
like it makes me sick to my stomach, and the aliens are like really gross me out. And Sweety did not understand
I don't know
why.
if I wasn't
Seen them,
paying
aren't
attention, but like I don't even remember what they look
You
like.
weren't even watching. You were like busy googling
I was
shit.
making my American,
And I
my Union
but
Jack
yeah, they
flag.
like one of them tries to like grab Scary's boob, and then like Geri is forced to kiss one, and it's like, ugh, and she kisses him on the lips with his like gross plastic face. Ugh, and their hands are like giant. Ugh.
Yeah, I think that's my like, with a discerning adult's taste in. That's the one thing I would probably get rid of, but only because it's like creepy.
Yeah.
But like they did really want to do everything.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Okay, and then my last question. I don't know if Sweetie has another one, but did you have your own signature Spice Girl name?
Oh, wow! Like Marsala Spice or like something.
Or it doesn't have to be like an actual spice. It could be like ballet spice or like whatever you're into.
Oh, ballet Spice.
So, like, we were trying to come up with them before, and it's really hard. Like, I can't nail down, like, a good one. But maybe some people had a prepared one. I don't know. I didn't.
No, that's interesting. Well, like, I think that Ginger Spice, original name was Sexy Spice.
Oh.
I think I've read that, and which is just, like, kind of lame, but it's really hard to think of, like, what are the other options?
Right. Yeah.
Like Angry Spice, or like something more like misogynistic.
Andre picked sad spice.
Yeah, no, it's like right. You could do like the dwarves. It could be like Bashful Spice.
Right.
Yeah, right. Wait, were you also confused about their sad pregnant friend Nicola, and then, like if she was like actually that was
A
real?
friend? Yeah. It like I knew in my hard that it couldn't, like, I think maybe the first time I thought it was their friend because I was just believing everything. Like, I believed that they really did, like, practice at a cafe when they were young together.
It's just so random. And, like, why have that, like...
My theory was she was a Spice Girl and then got kicked out because she got knocked up. Six Spice Girls. Wow. Nicola.
That's, like, better backstory than I think the writers had.
I know. Right?
I know. It felt like they were just trying to wrap up, like, oh, you're missing out on regular life, but, like, all into one person.
Yeah. But regular life is just having a baby and being alone? Like, what?
Or they were showing, like, they needed to show how good of friends they were to somebody else in, like, the real world. So they're like, let's make her 9 months pregnant.
Right. You're like, oh, this was totally... But, like, yeah, right. This is totally me. Geri was thinking of me when she did this scene.
Right. Yeah.
It's
weird. Sweetie, any other questions for our special guest?
No.
Any other parting words from you, Isadora Dunnerfry?
Thank you for doing this very important cinematic masterpiece. I really shout out to the intentionally bad special effects when they go over the bridge on the tour bus. Like, kudos to them for just like leaning in to being ridiculous, and it like totally works.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
Agreed.
I love it.
I loved it.
It was great. It was a great chuckle. Yeah.
Awesome. Love you, sweeties.
Thanks, Izzy. Good
we
chatting
love
with
you
you.
too.
Bye, girl power.
Girl power.
Yay!
Love that bitch.
Yeah.
She's a good spice.
Yes. Good Spice.
That's her name.
That's her name.
I'll
text it. But yeah, good times. Hey, do you guys like the Spice Girls? Are you a Spice Girl fan? Do you have a Spice Girl name that's better than Sad Spice or Good Spice? Wow, we really very creative.
Yeah. Really getting outside the box there. Good Spice, Bad Spice, Sad Spice.
Tell us about it.
Happy
Find
Spice.
us on Twitter at the Sweety Club or on Instagram at Large Marge Sent Us. Also, follow us on Instagram to get a look at Sweety's collage of herself as all 5 Spice Girls, photographed by me, Sweety with a Y. Coming to you soon to Instagram. Large Marge Sent Us. Follow us. But thank you, as always, for listening. Bye.
Rave artist.